Alright, howdy, howdy, howdy. Hopefully this thing's working now. Oh man, not a good way to start out the new year. Well, let's try this again. Howdy, howdy, howdy. This is not a good way to start out the new year. New Ferris, how you doing? He's in the chat over there. I guess he's still there. Alright, I'm a little crippled tonight. I can only stream on YouTube. So, been a while since we've done that. And, but anyhow, we'll see how it goes. I cannot get logged in like I normally do, so there'll be no Twitch or Facebook stream tonight, just a YouTube. Hey Dale, North American, Mr. Dave, Brian, yeah, got a few popping on in here now. Maybe we'll get somebody pop in on the panel here soon. I'm a little late starting out. Seems like my server doesn't want me to log in tonight, so we're just broadcasting on YouTube and not like we normally do on Facebook and Twitch and all. AJ, Happy New Year to everybody. Hope y'all started out well. And welcome to a new decade. Yeah, new year, new glitches. That's right about that. And the IT guy, he's off on holiday, so no getting a hold of him right now. Hope everybody's had a good new year starting out. This is posted, so anybody wants to get on the panel, you're welcome to. As you can see, we got plenty of room. And I need to make a change or two here before people start saying, hey, you got the date all wrong. Now, let's see. January 2. $2020. Hey Nathan, how you doing? Happy New Year. Says they got the date all wrong. Oh, yeah, well, it's not anymore. I changed it. January 2nd, 2020. Yeah. I guess that was due to the fires down there. AJ said a friend of his lost their home in Australia. I know the ones come in here on a regular basis, they've been doing okay so far. Oh, it does. Okay. I'll have to go check that and see. I thought I had them all changed to 9 o'clock instead of 10 p.m., Nathan. Joel, he just popped in. Well, since I'm the only one on the panel, I'm going to do something I'm not supposed to be doing, but I'm going to finish this. But, you can say I just broke my first New Year's resolution. Well, I know last week we had some new guys come in. One of them was asking what's a good size to start out with a layout. Any of y'all want to start out talking about that tonight, or? Yeah, that's right. It's not a channel for kids. Yeah. Hey, Sparky, 107. He just jumped in. Here's Brad. How you doing, Brad? Yeah, that's one way to do it. Don't make resolutions. You can't break them. Hey, Grandpa Rails. And New Ferris just jumped in. I take it, Joel, the chopper is a motorcycle and not actually a helicopter. He said just going to get things done like my chopper and my mall railroad. Yeah, Sparky said 10 years ago mine was to never make another one. Only New Year's resolution I have kept so far. Well, does anybody want to elaborate on the last week's discussion on what's a good size to start out on in mall railroading? Motorcycle. 1980 KC 750 rigid frame. Well, if anybody asks, we're talking about a KC 750 -2 old time locomotive. All right, so far everybody's going 4x6, 4x8. Yeah, Nathan has a good comment on it. Depends on what size and space you've got. Depends on the space as to what size it can be. Yeah, and AJ, I know he was working on kind of like a module type thing, wasn't it, AJ? It was easy to move around. Brian's saying 2x4 N scale. Well, hey, CSX Mad, how you doing? Happy New Year. Hope everything's well down there your way. Joel says his fits in his apartment. Thank goodness he's single. Joel said his is a 2x2 N scale. Hey, that's good. And New Ferris, I've got a 4x6 that's grown to be a 4x8 layout. Wow, that's a good way of doing it. Hey, John, he just got in here, 2618. Simple enough to, when you build the next one, it's not much to take down. LOL, will learn as you go and end up building a new one with what you learned. Yep. Yeah, John's is 8 feet by 18 inches. But growing a bit because he is adding on to it. Oh, here comes Tim once he gets his mic and all working.
And Mike's working. I'm just waiting on the cameras to come up.
Oh, yeah. We're getting a little strobe effect. Yeah, there it is. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Is nobody else in here?
Yeah, I got a bunch in the chat right now. I'm late getting started because I had connection issues with the server. Evidently, it's on holiday.
That doesn't surprise me none.
Yeah. Because it wouldn't let me log in at all, so I had to go back, reset everything, come back in on YouTube. So that's all I'm streaming is just YouTube tonight.
Yeah, I noticed it come.
You cut out. Your mic's muted if you didn't know it.
Yeah, sorry, I clicked mute too soon. I was muting it while I was loading the YouTube.
Okay, now we got an echo. Let me go over here, guys, real quick and see what I can do to cut the echo out.
Alright, let me see if I can get the chat window to actually work without having the regular window open. There we go.
Alright, I can't see where the echo's coming from. I know it's on my end, it's here in the software. I've got this muted here. So, I shouldn't have. All right.
Grandpa Rail says the echo is gone, but
No, it's not gone. I see it picking up on my mic. Oh, let me get back. See if that might help out any.
yeah, Jerry Ashley saying he's not getting any echo on his end. I heard it a while ago when I first pulled in YouTube.
Yeah, but I'm showing on my mixer. When you're talking, it activates my mic bad. It's blowing it up. So, somehow another in OBS, I'm getting a crossover here. We'll see what we can do. Otherwise, I'll just keep muting my microphone when you're talking. So, if everybody says we're getting an echo again.
Well, Andy said he was going to be in tonight, but
Oh. Is he back home or?
yeah, he was home last night.
All right. I know when he goes home, he doesn't have that good internet.
Well, he was back at his house last night, but he said they'd been traveling, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they probably just came in yesterday. All right, Dale said he's going to be doing a 2.5 by 13 staging yard. That'll be good.
Yeah, I know the feeling, Joel. I used to live in a small house and didn't really have much room for anything. I tried to do a 4x8 for my kids, and yeah, that didn't happen too well. They tore it up as soon as I got it built.
Yeah. Black Falcon Models, how you doing? John 2618 is talking about his father-in-law's got the bug, and they're looking at building a layout over his place. He's got more room.
Yeah. Oh, we just got my daughter a Lionel train set over Christmas. So we're going to see about running around her ceiling in her bedroom. So I get some measurements off of our room and see what kind of track we can see how much track it's going to cost and everything.
Yeah. You know the boys will be on there too.
And the boys will probably be up here in my layout. Did you have a good holiday, Johnny?
Yeah, it's all right. New Ferris said that his layout is actually two layouts. Is one. One is 4x6, and the new one is 4x8. Yeah, Dale said he tried that at his house and he got vetoed by the boss.
My wife was just watching that new progressive or nationwide commercial with Brad and Brad Paisley and Peyton Manning, or they go to that little Peytonville city, and she's like, "We ought to do something like that when we retire and buy a big building and just build a layout inside of it and charge people to come see it." I was like, "Okay, you ain't gonna hear any complaints from me."
Yeah. You know, Sparky said he wanted trains running the ceiling of the living room, kitchen, and dining room. He says, I have a shed now.
Yeah, me and my wife talked about that at the old house about having one running around the ceiling in the living room and everything. The only problem with that commercial is there is no trains on that I've seen. The problem is having the money to buy the building.
Yeah.
I got about 1,000 square foot attic I'm building my layout in now, so
JC Rep Track. How you doing, JC? Yes, it is. Good to see you. Happy New Year. John 2618 moving into a new house next year, and it's already a done deal with the layout room. LOL, no kids, 4 bedroom. Yeah.
shoot, that's 3 extra bedrooms to build a layout in.
Yeah.
I got 4 kids, and we got a 4 bedroom house, so you do the math.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's got a full size attic. Well, especially when this attic is a full stand up attic. Yeah, it's nice to have a you know large dwelling.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of hard to have basements in Florida. You dig 3 feet and you're into water.
Yeah, I got a half basement underneath this house, but it's wet, so that was a no go for the layout here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Falcon. That's the plus of this attic is it's got the high roof, so I don't have to worry about hitting my head unless I get over 3 feet from the edge.
Yeah, but with attics, you still kind of have the problem like you do with basements. Sharp weather, temperature swings. It will get hotter in an attic than it does anywhere else. That does make it a
Yeah, it
little
gets
rough.
gets really hot up here during the summer. It's not too bad. Now I got the window air conditioner out over in the dormer, and a couple fans to circulate the air around. But it's still pretty good, pretty hot up here.
Yeah.
And it gets noisy up here and rainstorms and high wind and cold during the winter. Mm.
Yeah, they were talking about twisters up through there.
Yeah.
Jerry goes, plus when a tornado takes off the roof, you still have the basement, hopefully.
Yeah. If it's not flooded. Which is weird because our basement's actually ground level.
Yeah.
Pretty much with it's street level, I should say. Because the house sits on a little bit of a hill.
Yeah. Mr. DeBob, how you
basement.
doing? You have no sound. Here we go again. Nope.
Yeah, Falcon. American houses are generally quite a bit bigger than some of your flats over there in Europe, depending on where you're at. Yeah, Bob's probably reloading, figuring out his audio.
Yeah.
There he comes back.
Nope.
AJ,
No, seriously.
Bob,
Seriously.
turn your headset on. Bob, that's the best you've sounded ever.
Yeah, that's what JC Riptrack said. So you can see him even if he can't hear him. I don't think right now you want to hear Bob anyway.
I don't know. I think James Wright did a pretty good impression of him the other day.
Nope.
Dwight says, plug it in, Bob. Now, where I'm from in Midwest, when tornado hits, we just stand out and watch it go by. Yeah, Sparky, you probably did because he did a little short video where he's impersonating the Bob. Bob, you got the right audio selected in.
I don't know. Maybe I'll call
Appearance.
James. I think what he needs to do is just call James, see if James will figure it out for him over the phone. Well, he can't talk. We'll give him a hard time.
That's the best time to pick on somebody is when they can't talk back.
Yeah. Nope. That didn't work. Are you sure the on button is on the headset?
Change batteries.
No, he's plugged in hardwired. Nope. Nope.
No, Sparky, I don't remember the name of the video. It popped up on Facebook. He said the Bob was probably going to kill him later, but
Yeah. Yeah. Where's Mr. Nathan?
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's all Bob needs. No smart aleck picking on him.
Yeah, I couldn't resist. I'm sorry.
you can break out the big mic now.
That's all right.
Probably sound better too.
It'll be funny if this doesn't work either.
No.
Nope.
Probably.
Maybe your sound card's fried.
Now I'm getting an echo.
Sorry.
Huh?
I'm sorry.
The Bob always has these problems.
Nope.
Do I have anything right now? No.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
just out of sight.
Now you're coming in.
That is weird.
Broken but readable.
Yeah.
And out of sync. It's like a Japanese movie. We see the lips move and then we hear the voice.
That is really strange.
Yeah. No,
It's a kung fu setting.
Actually, the voice first and then the lips move. Huh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hear you guys just fine. The microphones seem to work. I'm not sure what's going on. No, I know I've used this microphone for recording before, but everything was set back to the normal settings.
They seem to be in sync now, so.
Yeah. I don't know.
Now who's popping in? Oh, there's Andy.
It's Andy.
He froze. Looks like he got looks like he got a vest and a new shirt for Christmas.
That happened to him last night when he was talking to me and Dan. He got about 3 words in, and all of a sudden he froze.
Yeah, I wonder if this microphone on my headset has died or something.
Don't know.
Brand new headset from last Christmas, and it's been giving me a lot of weird trouble, like the power switch. If I push on it just the right way, the sound will cut out and disappear. I just have to wheel it back and forth a little bit, and all of a sudden I get better sound.
Which
It's
what
weird.
brand headset is that?
Well, it's a Logitech
Yeah.
G33.
Yeah. Well, you know,
Or,
troubles I've had with Logitech, and Jim in Michigan had troubles with them, and I finally gave up. Needed something real quick, so I ran down to Best Buy's, and they had it on sale. It was a Corsair gaming wireless headset for about the same price as Logitech. So, you know, that I was buying around $70 or so, and got it. Shoot, it works
yeah.
great so far.
I mean, this will work pretty good too. It's just my last headset was a Logitech as well, and I just basically upgraded to a newer version, and now it's giving me problems.
Well, yeah, the Logitechs worked great for about a year, and then they started going belly up.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I mean, I had mine for like 4 years.
yeah.
The foam, or the cloth in the earpiece was just deteriorating away.
Yeah.
That's why I really got, and the band up here broke, so I had to get a new set.
Yeah. JC said, just curious, what control systems do you guys use? What are you talking about on control systems? Yeah.
Well, I'm using NCE back there. You can see that. I like it.
I'm
pretty
running
well.
DCC++.
Yeah. Well, I've got Digitrax. I hadn't used it yet, but I've got it.
Yeah, I've got a Digitrax Zephyr, one of the first ones.
Yeah. Well,
But
I did like a lot of people. I was going out to these open houses we have around here once a month, and within MRA Piedmont Division, and kept watching these guys. Of course, you know, wasn't realizing what I was looking at. It's a big layout, and you know, open house, so they got everything turned on, and so when the trains got to the backside, they started, you know, stalling out and everything, and everybody kept saying, "Oh, you don't have enough power, don't have enough power," and yeah, they just didn't have enough feeders, and they probably could use the booster back there. So I found a Digitrax super cheap. It was on sale. So I got it, and it was the 8 amp, and I figured, okay, yeah, I'm going to have some power now.
yeah.
Yeah, what a lot of people call the welding machine, but I also bought a PM42 circuit breaker. It's got 4 circuit breakers on there, and I said, no, I'll run it through the circuit breakers, knock it down to 5 amps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, John's, we just got the old Zephyr on it. We don't have a new one, the 3 amp. I think his is 2 amp.
Yeah. So we starting the show tonight, or what?
Yeah, good thing you got the.
Yeah, I mean, show's been going about a half hour. I was
It has?
almost a half hour late getting started because my set, I can't log into the server. It wouldn't let me log in, so I had to change everything and just do the show on YouTube only.
Yeah, because I checked at 8 o'clock and I couldn't get in. So I wasn't sure if it was. I mean, the note on the Facebook said starts at 10 o'clock Eastern. So that's
Yeah.
9 o'clock. So I
Yeah.
was like, no one was here around at 8 o'clock. So I figured come in at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I thought I had them all changed to 9 o'clock, but yeah, all the shows are 9 o'clock now Eastern.
Okay.
So
Just want to clarify because I didn't see it.
Yeah, ask Derek Glass what happens when you don't have one of them circuit breakers on.
Have a what?
So ask Derek Glass what happens when you don't have a circuit breaker on your layout.
Oh, yeah.
You fried it, huh?
He severely overheated one and melted an engine, almost melted down an engine.
Wow.
Ouch.
Yeah.
let's put it this way: he did some melting damage. It wasn't near as bad as it sounds, but it still did some damage to the locomotive and kind of overheated the system.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Must have had a short in there somewhere
Yeah.
for it to be drawn.
He had
48
one.
amps.
He was running. I guess according to the video he released, he had one. He was running it around the layout, breaking it in, and he went upstairs. Well, while he was upstairs, apparently it had derailed
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and shorted it. The locomotive shorted itself across the tracks, and the Digitrax breaker internal to the system kept trying to reset itself. Well, it wasn't long enough delay to let everything cool off. So basically, it became a pulse width modulated signal with a heating coil.
Yeah. I did that with mine too, with my George Bush 4141. I just had it running around. It was the very first DCC locomotive I ever got back in 2013, I guess, for Christmas. And I'm sitting there going, why? It's kind of quiet. And I'm like, looking around like, where's the train? Oh no, where's the train? I look up there and it's just sitting up there, and I turn off the power, and it melted the plastic off the side of my trucks because it got stuck on a switch. And it just, and I was using the Zephyr, and yeah, it did the same thing. Just heated it up, melted it. It was probably sitting there for a good half an hour. But I just bought a new truck and plugged it in, and it worked.
Oh, that's
so
good.
Wasn't too bad. $12 or something like that for a set of trucks. Sure wish it didn't happen though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that'll teach me to not pay attention to my trains. Fall asleep at the controls.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in the process of building phase 3 of my layout.
Yeah.
So I've been kind of busy this December. And I've been putting up a bunch of shelving in the living room, attached to that big bridge that I made earlier. And I'm going into the other living room, dining rooms / fireplace room. And so I've got a double track bridge from Kato. I've got 8 of those all glued together in one long bridge. And it's just going to go right across the whole room. It's solid. I'm surprised it actually works so far. But
well, so far every bridge you built, you pretty much drive a semi rig across it. So.
Well, I try to. Yeah, and then I've got another thing I'm working on is on the other end of that room by the fireplace. Instead of just doing sort of a square kind of 90-degree turn, go across the room, I'm making a half circle. And so that half circle is going to be a kind of like a suspended trestle deck that is about, it's 58-inch radius curve. So about 110 inches, 116 inches, somewhere in there for the total width of the room. So it's a project I'm just starting, and I hope it works. Otherwise, I got to come up with something different.
Yeah.
But I haven't videotaped a thing about it. So I'm just going to kind of leave that one out. No one watches those bridge building videos anyway.
Somebody out here says they watched it.
Just a few, just not enough.
Yeah.
You know, not going viral or anything.
Yeah, JC said he's been following your stuff.
Yeah. There's a few diehard fans out there, yes.
Sparky's wanting a video tour around your layout.
Yeah, I did one a while back. It's out on my layout channel. It took about 20 minutes to get all the way around from one point back to the same point, going up the helix and all the way around the 3 rooms. But I'll probably wait until I get a little bit farther along in this phase 3 to put a video together on it. It goes a lot faster when you got it mostly built. And so I'll probably do that then. Kind of been taking
Mostly
a break.
built.
Yeah, been kind of a weird December, you know. You just get the holidays in the way, and you're going, I don't feel like making video now. I got things I got to do.
Yeah.
Then I took a vacation from work at the end of the year. I said, I'm building my train. Off I go. Go buy some wood. Buy some brackets. Just start building. I kind of like that part of it, though. It's more of a challenge. Initial architecture, and then the rest of it is what it is when you get to it.
Yeah.
Still got to put wiring on. I got to put a bus wire around the wall still. Still trying to figure out how I'm going to do that across some of these bridges. I've got some ideas for that. Got another bridge that's going to be, what is it called? The tall steel viaducts. One of these from Micro Engineering. I got a couple of those I'm going to put together.
Cool.
So that's going to be above the TV. So yeah, I got a lot of projects all at once, and I want them done tomorrow.
Yeah. Lots of
You
luck
know.
on that one.
Yeah, not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just made a trip to Hobby Lobby here the other night.
You got a bunch of the basswood stuff, huh? Yep,
Got a big collection of basswood.
they do. I found that their prices are a little bit higher than the hobby store was. So I'm glad I have a hobby store that I can go to that's a little bit cheaper.
How does that compare to
Well, the hobby store I have,
how does that compare
sells them
to
individually. They don't sell them in a pack.
have you checked to see how that compares to what you call it, the one that Jim Morris just bought, Fast Tracks?
Fast Tracks was more expensive. That supplier.
Oh, is
I
it?
was, yeah. So I travel around to, let's say, Hobby Town. I have in town. I got a couple of those. There's a place out in Des Moines that I've been to a few times, and it's usually they're not looking to sell you stuff for model railroading. Most of this basswood and balsa wood's for model airplane stuff, the remote control stuff. So they've got them priced lower, and so I find that I get a pretty good deal on each of those pieces. I can buy all the sizes I need, and find that it's actually cheaper to do it that way than it was to buy that bulk from a certain location.
Yeah.
And I can actually look at it and go, yeah, we need it this big.
Yeah,
How you doing, Ralph?
our hobby.
I'm okay. Go ahead, Tim.
Well, Andy's back.
Yeah.
How you doing, Andy? Mike's
He doesn't
muted.
freeze. He muted himself.
Yeah, I was getting audio working. What's up, guys?
I know a lot.
Well, I've got audio problems. I had to use an external microphone.
Whoa, we got a bad echo from somebody now.
You had four of them trying to talk at once.
No, it's when Bob just now talking.
Yeah. But yeah, my
Do you have the echo
headset
now?
seems to die.
No.
No.
Okay. Thought it might have been my external. I haven't been out here in a while, so testing it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. My headset kind of freaked out today, and my microphone built in is just not working. I powered it down and plugged
yeah, it's
it
kind of one
in.
of the trade-offs of those wireless rigs. I've thought about those for a while, and I just
Well, he's wired.
Yeah. Well, I've got a charger wire in there, but it could have been a number of combinations. I could have needed probably unplug the wire, plug it back in. There's sometimes it fixes it. It's when I'm not on this thing, it doesn't like it anymore, and it goes, "Hey, sorry." Plus, I guess it told me that I'm on a newer version of Whereby, which I've noticed some differences. You don't just log right into the chat. You have to sign in or something. But,
You should.
yeah, there's kind
Yeah.
of nuanced differences in the new versions of Whereby.
yeah, it gave me an option to switch back to the other version, but I didn't try that.
How come you're that
I
way?
like most of the changes. I like. There are things
Yeah.
that are there are problems. It is imperfect. They're a bleeding edge company, but their business model is kind of difficult for nonprofit kind of organizations like ours. That's going to become that's a bit concerning. If you're a business,
Mm-hmm.
I pay $50 a month for go to meeting. I pay $50 for this, $100 for that. No big deal. As a business, as a nonprofit minority community, dishing out a few $100 for services like that, it's challenging
Yeah.
Yeah.
to justify.
AJ was asking, has anyone tried the $20, $30 static grass applicators from Amazon? He was looking at the Woodland Scenic one, and it took him a day and a half to pick himself up off the floor.
Actually, they've gone down $10. They were
How much?
99. They're
How much is
89
it?
now.
Oh, that's spectacularly cheap by comparison. I mean, for many years, the static grass. If you go look at the static grass and where it came from the automotive industry of the automotive customization industry of the 70s, making, doing these dashboards and stuff like that. Go on Amazon and look for static fiber dashboard applicator or something like that. And look on Amazon. And you find these applicators that cost $2,000. So
Mhm.
these model railroaders in Europe started figuring out how to adapt that to model railroading. And then Dock came out with a commercial grass applicator. And for a decade plus, the Dock applicator was the only one to buy, and it's $200. It's down to about 170 or 80 these days, but it was $200. And for a decade plus, that's all you had in the model railroading specific community, and much more than that prior to. But I mean, you could build one with a bug zapper. I mean, that's what I have, and I'm
Yeah.
out. I don't
Electric
know,
fly swatter.
$3 or something, maybe $5.
Yeah, because Harbor Freight static grass applicators
Yeah.
when everybody's used to make their own.
Yeah,
I've
I
got
built
one
one
sitting in the
first.
bag.
You're
right
you're out of you're out about $10 because you gotta get the strainer, plus the fly swatter is about $5.
Yeah, so I paid. So I built this. I've got my second one now that I built slightly differently. It's built with a $2 static gas applicator from Walmart in the home and garden section, and $2.50.
You're talking bug zapper, right?
It's a
you're
bug
talking
zapper.
zapper,
Yep.
not-
And
not
it's in the home and
static
garden. And it's and a $2.50 because I really like these little small, like basically a tea strainer. So it works much better for these. They're graded. These static grass applicators built for bug zappers are quite low power. I mean, you're talking about 10,000 volts or less. I mean, maybe 15,000 volts. Whereas with a dock or something, you're talking 25 or 30, probably, maybe 40,000 volts. So with the smaller ones, I like the little smaller, little colander screen. I also find the little ones you build with a bug zapper, 6 mil is a bit. Anything below 6 mil, no problem. 6 mil is a bit challenging. Anything over 6 mil is difficult. It's doable, but it's difficult. And you have to be really close. That's why I like the little small colander. I can get in right close to where I'm working.
Yeah, like Troy said, he built the bug zapper from Harbor Freight. That thing kept zapping him. He plays.
Oh, I mean, it's that big.
Yeah, but you're not
Yeah.
supposed to hang on to
Honestly-
the other end of the wire.
Yeah, but the thing
Well,
about it is
Supposed to lick it.
he plays disc golf. He's sitting there zapping himself, and last time he said his elbow was hurting him pretty bad. I think his day after or 2 days after, he had to play a tournament. He said he threw his best disc golf that day. We kept telling him, well, zap yourself a few times before you go play.
Well,
It's got me a couple times, but adjacently, like through the glue or something, I would get my hand over into where I was working and it close enough to the zapper. But my wife picks it up. What's this? Messing with it because I bought like 4 or 5 of those things. I was live on here with everybody in the room, and she got it, or no, it got her. She squealed, plugged the thing, and that's what happened to my Harbor Freight static grass applicator. Then I went and built one from a Walmart applicator. So.
go on YouTube and you'll see the one that Luke Talon put together.
Yeah, and he did an updated version of that too, and that is the. So in my opinion, there's 2 good ways to go with static grass applicators for in the $40-$50 or less range. Is to build one like Luke Talon did, especially his most recent updates, or buy a flock box. You can buy them for $40. They're really nice, and especially if you do dioramas, they're spectacular. Or if you want to make the little, kind of pre-made grass things on wax paper that stick them on the layout, whatever they call those things.
Grass tufts.
Flock box is great for that. But you could use a flock box on a layout too, because it has 2 alligator clips. It's a little static grass applicator with a metal plate on top, and you put your static grass on it, and then it flies up to whatever you're using. So you take a metal pan with wax paper, or metal pan, and put dots of glue on it, then slide it across the top of the thing, and the grass flies up to it, or to trees. Works really good for doing pine trees. But it has 2 alligator clips on it, so you can clip an alligator clip to a T-pin stuck into your glue, and an alligator clip to a colander, or whatever. And that's $40. That's about as cheap as you could get off for a commercial product that I know of. Pico has one, but you're still talking up to the $80 range.
Mhm.
Well, I guess Joe and I are the only ones that haven't got zapped, but then of course I don't have one.
Yeah, the one thing that had on the Woodland Scenics one, you can put 2 different kinds of grass in it. It's because there's a divider in half, so you can put different colors on each side and kind of mix it at the same time as you do the application.
Or different.
But you
height.
can't control the flow of the grass out of each one. When you turn it over, it comes out
Right.
of each of them equally.
Yeah, it's kind of equally, yeah. Or you could put a little
Right,
bit
so-
less in one, more in the other, and
I just
eventually you'll have
rotate it around so that
yeah,
one side's coming out less than the other. So
yeah.
Yeah, turn it stuff. Now I mix. I just about never do static grass that is a single grass. I don't know that I ever have done a single grass color. I tried to do some lawns or some yards, manicured yards, and I didn't have good luck doing that with static grass. I use grass mat.
It still looks artificial. You still got to throw some.
That's
other
right. You got to
colors in
mix
there.
stuff up. So I use a lot of because I'm bottling springtime. So I use a lot of the 2 mil that's in a kind of green color, and then I use some taller, dead colored grass, some 4 or 6 millimeter grass, and then I go to it with a beard trimmer. I go at it with a beard trimmer after I stick it up anyway to make it less. And I want some of it to lay down too. Dogs wear tracks and stuff. You got to knock some of it over with a screwdriver too.
True.
But I think you can build, and there's a lot of really cool commercial ones out there. War World Scenics, that's a hard word for me to say. WWS has a really cool little small one that I've thought about buying for a while. It's like a mini mag light size that you could get in between buildings and stuff. That's kind of neat.
Micromark sells one for about $30.
How much?
30.
Yeah, I building either a flock box or building going the way Luke Towan does is about as cheap as you can get by for a pretty good quality product, and especially if you're modeling at a larger scale where you absolutely have to do 10 to 12 mil grass. It's a must to have something with 25 plus thousand watts on the static ion generator.
Well, when Mike was over in Korea, I was talking to him, and I'd found one online that's 40,000 volt ion generator. And
Well, see, that's
he's
that's
going to
that's
look
a
see about.
multi-duty tool.
Yeah.
Well, that's a multi-duty tool. Like, Alton Brown, if anybody listeners watch Food Network, Alton Brown's kind of scientific guy there, says he doesn't like unitasker items. So that's a multitasker. So you can do static grass, and then you can defend your house if you need to. So, 40,000 volts is a bit of a tase.
What if anybody's ever tried to use a taser?
I don't think you could. A taser. So the way a taser uses basically a capacitor or a similar type of circuit to discharge the load really quickly, and they're off pretty quickly. Now, like a taser gun, that sends those coils out, you can hold voltage onto them, but a normal, it's bursting. It's not a consistent voltage. I don't know.
Yeah, but your taser only discharges when something comes in contact with it. If the contacts are spread apart to where they can't make contact until there's something in between them, it's going to hold that charge until something jumps that charge. It's just like these bug zappers.
Yeah, you could only ever apply grass that had a burnt look to it, probably. But for applying grass in a fire damaged forest scene, that's great. No, I'm not. That might very well work. I don't know. I've taken a zapper apart before because I'm a techie guy. And I take everything apart since I was about 5. So I've taken one apart.
That he has an issue with.
When I built
a question for you, Ralph.
Yep.
What is it? Where is it? Oh, New Ferris Railroad. He wants to know what brand of brush do you use?
For what I'm doing right now, it's a number 3 flat brush. And this one here just happens to be a Tamiya modeling brush, only because I had access to it. But it's a number 3 flat brush, and it's about 1/4 of an inch wide, and it's got coarse hairs in it.
Okay. Yeah, AJ said dog shock collar.
Yeah.
Or
All you have to do with a dog shock collar is just bark, and it'll send the zap out.
Yeah.
I'd like to understand probably a little bit more about how those work. Static grass applicators uses a static ion generator, which is a quite different type of effect than what you're getting with like a zapper. Zapper is just a lot of voltage to ground, and a static ion generator has to create basically an AC style relationship back and forth. I think there's a lot of other ways to get the effects of static grass. I mean, there's these little machines that do it mechanically, like rubbing a balloon on your head. These little static grass applicators that are not electrically active. They're not very good, but there's ways to get
Vannegraph generator.
Well, yeah, that's right. If you really want to get tricky, you could totally take a belt and make yourself make your hair stand up.
Wait a minute, I got to spin up before I can static grass.
But I've built I've wanted to build a Tesla coil forever. I have built a Jacob's ladder when I was going to school for electronics. I built a Jacob's ladder. I mean, just for I don't know. But I haven't. I want to build a Tesla coil. I've wanted to build one of those all my life.
so you can make your Tesla go.
No, I don't have one of those yet.
Andy wants that pickup truck.
I do. I really love it. It's not for everybody. I'm not even sure it's a good idea for Tesla, but it's It's a good idea for me. I love Blade Runner. I love Cyberpunk, man. That's right up I mean, listen, I'm a DeLorean guy. But DeLorean's been my favorite cars forever. Completely stainless steel, bulletproof, all those sharp angles. I fell in love with the Tesla truck before it was fully on stage. But it's not for most people.
Nope.
It wasn't meant to be.
No, it's for those rich people that have nothing else better to do with their money.
$40,000 is not that rich. But ages.
That's the cheap one that's got 3 cylinders in it.
All right, Joe.
We're talking the nice one.
All right, Joe. We'll
See you,
catch
Joe.
you later. Have a good night.
Well, it's only got 1 engine, actually. The other
one
top of
motor.
line one's got 3 engines in it. And can,
But the top of the line is $70,000, and
Yeah.
$70,000 for go buy a really nice F-150 or something. You're gonna put $70,000 before you know. I know several people driving $95,000 F-150s, 90-some $1,000 F-150s.
Nothing wrong with
So,
that. 2 years down, or a year, 2 years down the road, I don't have to change all the batteries.
yep.
1 million miles out of a Tesla battery pack. 1 million
Okay.
miles.
Okay.
Yeah, but that Ford F-150, if you get the diesel in about 300 miles or so, you're going to be putting injectors in it.
1 million.
Oh, you said 300 miles.
Oh, right. Yeah, I mean, nothing's going to get you a million miles. There's nothing like a battery pack and a motor, and that's it. I mean, the most complicated thing in the car is like windshield wipers and windshield sprayers and stuff, and the computer stuff. It's all commodity stuff, and the packs are repairable in sales. This is not very model railroading oriented, by the way, but
Yeah, I was
It's-
just going to say that.
But now the 18650 battery packs, to get back to model railroading, I mean, what makes those so awesome, and that's why I'm looking to use those to go to Dan Rail, is because they're super available, incredibly cheap. That's what's at the bottom of a Tesla, to bring it back to that connection. And you can buy those. You know, you want to buy a new battery pack for your car after 1 million miles, 10 grand, something like that.
Yep.
And you can stick a couple of them in a tender. So, in HO scale. That's why I'm so envious. Another, recent number 74, while I'm so envious of O scale guys, but
Mhm.
and why I could never do N scale, because I don't know what kind of batteries you would power an N scale system with.
AAA's.
Yeah, coil batteries.
But
Coil batteries, and you'd have to
But,
stop coil rechargeables or flat pack rechargeables, and you'd have to stop for water or whatever, so you could recharge every 100 feet, couple hundred feet.
Some CR232s. 2032s,
Well,
actually.
For model railroading,
20,
what's so
2032
interesting,
button cell battery.
what I
quarter
think is
size
so
button
interesting
cell.
for model railroaders is capacitors, especially supercapacitors. But supercapacitors are not really readily available for us to use in model railroading yet. But you can put a lot of capacitors in a tender. A lot of capacitors. I mean, 5 minutes runtime worth of caps. And as long as you have a piece
Sparky.
if you can power,
Sparky says, I was thinking,
Tim,
I do that when sitting here. We all will spend over $250 on a loco, $80 on rolling stock, but when it comes to static grass applicator, we want to make one for $15.
Tim, can you hear Andy? Tim,
yes, it's the delay.
Yeah.
can you hear Andy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because you talking over him a couple of times there.
Well, and I can't help it. I do it too. There's the slight delay is a little hard. It's not
Yeah.
exactly conversational speak. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but if it made sense that what the knock grass applicator gave you for 170 was that much more worth it than the one you could build like Luke Tower does for $50 or less, I'm all for it. No problem. And I can't build a $250 locomotive. I don't have the skill set to do it. Can't get the parts. Don't have all the research. And it's not $250 to build a locomotive for yourself. If your time is worth half minimum wage, it's going to cost you $500 to scratch build a locomotive, probably more.
JC RepTrack said he's thinking about a 3D printer. Well, I could tell you about 3D printers. This guy, if you can, get a hold of Miles Hale. Talk to him. He's already been through a couple of them, and he's got one right now that seems to work really well at a good price. Might want to check with him about that. You guys are
Yeah.
pretty close together.
There's a couple of guys
Especially-
that are thinking for 3D printers, the best one you can get for HO and from S down to N scale is resin 3D printer. You'll never find a printer at the cost that you can afford to buy one that will give you the smooth finish. You will see stratification lines no matter what price you pay for it, unless you're paying thousands.
Or tens of thousands, probably. You'll have some stratification. I mean, the stuff I bought stuff from Shapeways that has stratification lines in it, and those are $250,000 printers that are doing the FUD and the super FUD stuff, FUD stuff, or flexible ultra detail or whatever print stuff. That it still has stratification in it. Those are $250,000 printers. You're going to have some of that, but resin printing. Especially the fiber or the sanded resin stuff, that's still about $10,000 today, but it's going to drop. But right now, a resin printer like an Anycubic Photon, $400-ish bucks, and that's pretty good stuff. It's not strong. You're not going to be able to turn out, servo mounts with it. But for detail parts, resin is great. And if you want to build structural components, then you have to have a filament-based printer.
Well, Brian and Ken sitting there talking about the Anycubic Photon. That's the one that Luke Talon was using last video I saw, where he was 3D printing stuff for that subway station that he built.
Yeah, that was a good video.
That,
I really enjoyed that one.
That thing looked like it was awesome.
So what you got there, Bob?
That's crazy.
That's my phase 3 of layout, the whole house layout.
Do you have any crossovers in this arrangement anywhere, or so it goes around the outside, makes a figure 8, then goes back around the other room? So it goes around each room twice, effectively, in opposite directions each time.
Right. This is no crossovers. It's all basically a folded loop. And basically this whole room here is the end of the loop.
Yeah.
Stretch that all the way out. Just keep on going farther and farther, obviously. But, you come in from this side of the room over here, through the wall, along this wall. Then it goes all the way around the outside. It comes back around, goes back through this inside track, and then it goes on the inside and all the way around, and then comes back down this middle one all the way back into the other part of the house.
That bottom one
that's a lot of road.
The one at the bottom that has the big loop on it, is that the end? At the end of that loop, is that the end of the room, or are you going across the room?
This is everything that's in blue is basically the inside of my house layout. So this big blue block is the stairwell.
Yeah.
This part down here is the kitchen, so I'm not having anything going through the kitchen. So
Come on.
I know, the wife said, nah.
Might have a little traction problem too with the cooking oil in the air.
Yeah.
No, you'd have to cabinets or something.
Little
Put it in
grease
a
stuff,
like you did at the Amazon room.
What's it doing in the room that has that red quarter section?
Oh. Well, this is the fireplace, and then it's just basically doing that big half circle trestle that I'm making. That's all going to be hanging from the ceiling.
Okay.
And it's going to have trestle. So what height? What is the track height? Is it like 7 foot?
It's about 7.5 feet.
So how far?
off the
So you're
floor.
going to build a trestle system hanging underneath that bridge.
Well, no, it's just gonna be just the deck portion of it. So
Oh, all right.
I'm gonna build like a trestle deck with
Okay.
double track on it because I
Right.
don't want to bump my head on anything.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was worried about the
Yeah.
height, space. You don't have any padding up there, so
No.
you got to be careful.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm 5'6".
What
I
are
can
you,
complain with that.
what are you using to suspend it going across the room? Threaded rod?
No, it's gonna be fairly light, just made out of basswood. So all I'm gonna have up there is probably some steel cable on some eye hooks mounted to the ceiling, or to I got a wooden beam that kind of goes across the sections of my room for decoration, I guess, but they're pretty nailed in up there. So pretty much that's what's gonna hold it up on this end. It's gonna be kind of going right through this area here, and another one probably about right in this area as well. On the walls, it's going to be
Just an angle bracket.
just an angle bracket. I've got some actual shelf brackets on this other wall up here, holding it up, but I ran out of shelving brackets, so the wooden ones that I've been using before, I didn't get any more of those. Got a special order them now to get the same kind.
Yeah,
So-
Jerry Ashley, real quick, he put in here, honey, put a burger and fries on a flat car. I'm in the living room.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's gonna be a little hard to reach, but especially in N scale, it'll be a little tiny burger.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of what I kind of decided. I was going to kind of do something similar to this one over here, over on this side, but I said, I'm going to do something really different. Let's try it. Let's try a half circle. Sure, why not?
All right, New Ferris, we'll see you later. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got people starting to drop out. It's getting late.
Oh, it's getting late.
Yeah,
I
I'll
guess
let
it
it
is,
run
though.
over. I'll let it run anyway, so I got to let
Yeah.
such a late start.
True. But yeah, that's how it's going.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, after it comes back around the room, it comes down this outside track and goes back the other way, opposite. And then it comes down the middle track back over to the other half of the layout. So yeah.
So have you
it's,
figured out what the lineal foot of trackage is?
Yeah, I kind of have a guesstimate here of the new section.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what I got.
What's that?
Length of selected section is huge.
How much is it?
9,468 yards in real scale.
Okay.
Or it's 2,130 inches in N scale.
Where's my fucking
So it's almost half a mile, but basically.
Yeah.
It's what?
It's almost half a mile.
20 wood. What is that in feet?
Oh yeah, it's inches.
Yeah, okay, so 20 wood, 30. It's 177 feet. In scale, every 30 foot's a mile, so 170, 180 would be 6 miles. So that'd be 6 scale miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit nuts, and that's a doggone lot of flex track. If you did put a bunch of crossover or a few crossovers in that middle section where all the 4 tracks align, you could run 2 trades depending on several arrangements. You could run 2 trades in there and even automate them. Of
Yeah.
course, you can always run 2 and let them chase. You
True.
can't exactly run 2 anyway because because you can't just stay in this section. Whatever you do is going to spit you out of the Y, as you obviously know.
Right.
But with some crossovers, you can keep a couple trades through that section. I don't know. It's really cool. It's
Yep.
a lot of track. It's a lot of flex
Yeah.
track.
I do have 100 pieces of flex track sitting in a box right now.
Well, that's a start.
And this top section over here, which is over the top of my living room window, there's a big valance up there.
Yeah.
And I'm putting Kato Snaptrack in there.
Sure.
So it's not as heavy.
Going through the valves.
JC wants to know, you doing that in SCAR?
Yes.
Good. JC's fixing to head out.
Yeah, this is definitely SCARM.
Scarm drives me crazy. I tried to like it. It drives me crazy. I tried to like it back when it was free. Now that it costs money, it drove me crazy then.
JC's wanting to know if you could hit the 3D button before he got out.
Oh, sure. This ought to be interesting. Now, the current half of my layout is not accurate on this rendering because I took an old file and kind of just modified that one, but my real layout is a little bit busier in the office here. And I don't have any height set up in here.
Yeah, or bench work necessarily.
Yeah, so it's all flat.
So you're putting totals. Is that what you're doing? That section in the middle where
Right.
all 4 of them pass each other? Okay.
Yep. So I'm just gonna cover it up, make it kind of look, like it is a mountain right up there.
Sure.
And,
All right. Well, the crossovers don't make sense there for sure then.
Yeah. But it's gonna be like kind of facade mountains. So I'm gonna have probably three sections of mountain that just kind of cover up over the tracks, so I can actually pull them down easier if I got a derailment or something.
Yeah, just go from the tracks and total portals up to the ceiling or up to your wall or whatever they stop at. Yeah.
Yeah. Just kind of make it a big rock face kind of thing or whatever. We'll figure it out. And then the high bridge or the high steel bridge will be right in this area here.
Is that the use of the Kato bridge sections you were talking about?
No, that's the microengineering. Steel viaduct.
Yeah, I've been building on some of those for a while.
Yeah, I've got 2 320-foot sections, so it's going to be just under 4 feet because putting 2 of them together doesn't actually give you that extra 6 inches or whatever it is. But
no, because it basically has approaches on both sides. So you're basically cutting an approach off of each side and then putting them together on both for dimensionality. Yep. Does Exact Rail make their girder sections at N scale, or is that only an HO scale thing? Because I bought it, so I've decided, and I've built several of the microengineering, viaduct sections. This is 30-foot approach. I've got multiple of these built. I've used a bunch of this stuff all through the rest of the layout. But when I build the one going over my aisle, it has to be six-ish feet long, maybe a touch more, touch more. I'm going to use the microengineering. They call them towers or bents. I want to think of them as bents, but when you have 2 of them together with cross sections of tower, so I'm going to use the microengineering ones for sure. But I think I'm going to use the Exact Rail 70-foot whatever sections. The detail on them is something spectacular. A little pricey, but they're really, really good. I mean, they're not brass. It's not. I really want to do the whole brass thing with it, and maybe I will. But It's the closest thing to brass. Microengineering stuff. I really like the Speedly microengineering towers. I think they're spot on. They're if you build them correctly, they're quite rigid. They're really quite nice.
Yeah.
I think Central Valley's stuff is actually better cast than microengineering when it comes to the bridge girders. Even though I've used a bunch of the microengineering stuff, I think Central Valley's are better, but I still don't think it's as good as Exact Rail
Yeah.
or brass.
Is that an airport in the middle of your room there? That
This
AL?
one here?
Yeah.
No, I was designing a shelf bracket that I could build myself.
Okay.
So I just use track to get the measurements and angles and all that, and I'll just. Yeah. But I decided not to make any more this time.
JC's having a hard time leaving out so he can go do some work because he's gotten wrapped up in this. So, tell you what, we're coming up on hour 30 anyway, so we need to wrap this one up. Let JC go back to work again.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I've got 4 Kato tracks right here, and then 4 single tracks on the other side, and the double tracks are all glued together, so there's nothing supporting it from below. It's just supported on the ends.
I'm really curious how that'll work. I'm more fascinated how that works than anything else you've done. Everything else you've talked about, sure, no problem. That one I'm curious about.
Yeah, if you're familiar with the Kato system, they've got these connectors down underneath on each end that go to the tower, the pillars and stuff. Well, when you put 2 bridges together, both of those snap together flush. So all you got to do is glue those 2 pieces together and plug them in. And I use super glue to glue those 2 pieces together, snapped them all in, and they pretty much stay together.
I'm surprised super glue, which most people have heard me growl about super glue. I'm not a super glue fan. It just gets so brittle over time. Epoxy or plastic cement.
Yeah, and on these double tracks, they've got some bracing that comes with each one that you can plug between them, so that also helps keep the bending or sagging in the middle from happening. And so you put those in there. I also super glued those in place on the 8 bridge. And that one pretty much once it's dried, it was solid.
Well, that's all you can do with any of this stuff. Experiment, see what works.
And if it doesn't work,
is tell you what they think will work or not, because you can't be sure till you try this stuff.
Yeah, and if it doesn't work, I have a ceiling that's about 7.5 inches above it, and I can run some wire up to there and secure it.
Yeah, you just try something else.
And it comes down real easy. I just figure it out, fix it again. Put it back up.
That's right.
Sparky's heading out.
Okay, yeah, so are we.
Yep, we need to say goodbye.
Yeah. Well, thank everybody over in the chat for coming in. Thank everybody on the panel here too, and Happy New Year to everybody, and welcome to a new decade. Let's see. Now that I got a new calendar.
I needed a new decade, so I'm happy to have one.
All right. We still got one more show next week on Thursday. January the 14th will be the Bill show. Big Bill's working on his show. He's got a guest he's working with, so not sure when that one's coming up. But anyhow, that's the way we got for right now on the schedule. Appreciate everybody coming in here on the panel tonight. Bob, Tim, Andy, Ralph, Nathan. He had to leave a few minutes ago. So y'all have a good one. Have a good weekend. Stay safe, stay dry, stay warm. We shall see you. Yeah, see y'all later.
Yep.